This is a video that is long overdue, especially given a lot of the current events, things that are happening right now in the news, announcements that our president has made. And if you followed my channel for any length of time, you likely share some similar interests or views. You might be just starting out putting food away in preparation for an emergency, or you might be an old hand at preparedness and you just like to browse channels for tips or tricks to help you with your preps. I do that pretty often. You might be a hiker or a backpacker who enjoys the freedom to wander around in the woods. You might be a gun owner, or you're considering joining the millions in our country who enjoy hunting, shooting sports, or the ability to keep a firearm for defense of yourself, your home, and your family. Whatever it is that brought you to my channel, there's one thing that we all have in common. We are all under attack. More specifically, the United States Constitution that allows and protects us as we enjoy the activities that I just mentioned is under attack. We're told that the anti-gun legislation that is being proposed or even forced through in some states is for our own good. It's to keep guns out of the hands of the bad people. We're expected to believe that less guns equals less crime. Any thinking person knows that is false. Any reading person can look up the statistics from the FBI, their website, that shows that less guns actually means more violent crime. If you're one of those who are convinced that guns are evil and are the cause of such tragedies such as Sandy Hook, then you're unfortunately part of the problem. And you'll ultimately shoulder a large part of the blame if illegal legislation such as the upcoming assault weapons ban is made into law. There's a fight, and that fight's here, and the fight is now. We can't sit idly by as our rights are systematically stripped away. If we stand by thinking that this can't happen to us, not in the United States, then we're just as guilty as those who proposed the legislation to disarm us. Write to your state representatives. Tell them where you stand on the issue of gun control. I've written to my senators and representatives, and I've received what my wife refers to as canned responses. The emails that I received were pretty much what I expected to hear from two senators who have voiced their support for strict gun control and assault weapons bans, and from a congressman who openly supports a ban on what he calls high-capacity magazines. I'll read to you the letter that I sent to my representatives, and then I'll read a couple of paragraphs from their responses. Because yes, I did get a couple of responses. I got a response from one of my senators and from my congressman. If you haven't written to your senators, I encourage you to do it. If you think that it's just too much work to draw up a letter, I will copy and paste mine in the description, and you can take it, use it, copy, paste, modify, whatever you need to do, and send it off to your representatives. Let your voice be heard. But I will read what I wrote to my reps. And it says, I am contacting you to offer my encouragement as you will be facing a decision that, if you are not careful, could directly contradict the oath that you swore as you took office. There is no doubt our country has suffered a terrible loss at the hands of a few evil individuals, and the tools of choice for those individuals were firearms. I believe you would be hard-pressed to find a United States citizen who doesn't agree that action should be taken. Unfortunately, the focus has once again been put on the inanimate object and not the persons who are responsible for making the decision to carry out the malicious acts. I am a husband. I am a father of 4 beautiful children. I am also a concealed pistol license holder and have been carrying a handgun almost every day for 18 years. In all of those years, my firearm has never discharged on its own, threatened, or harmed another person. It is not because my gun is less dangerous than those used in the shootings that we've seen on the news, but because it's in the hands of a responsible gun owner. I'm thankful that I have never found myself in a situation where I was left no choice but to defend myself or my family with deadly force. My gun is not my first line of defense, it's my last. As a parent, I am sickened by the senseless killing of those innocent children in Newtown. As a human being, I am saddened whenever I hear of any loss of life. But I am no more angry with the guns that were used as I am at the vehicle driven in a fatal DUI accident. It is the person or persons who should be held accountable. It is not the tool that was used or the responsible owners of similar tools who should be punished. I would be in support of legislation that would target would-be criminals or increase consequences for gun-related crimes. I do not, however, support the use of tragic events as a platform to launch an anti-Second Amendment assault that will embolden criminals and leave the law-abiding citizens without equal means of defending themselves and their families. Quote, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. End quote. These are the words that you spoke. I'm asking that you do the honorable thing, which is to keep your word and vote against any legislation that would compromise your integrity or our United States Constitution. Thank you for your time and your service. So that was the letter that I sent to my representatives. I sent one to Senator Patty Murray, one to Senator Maria Cantwell, and one to Congressman Adam Smith. And I received a response from Maria Cantwell's office, and I've also received a response from Adam Smith's office. I haven't heard anything from Patty Murray's office. So I'll read just a little bit of what Maria Cantwell's office sent back to me. And it says, all Washingtonians and all Americans offer our deepest condolences to the families of the 20 children and 6 school staff members who were killed in this senseless attack. Our thoughts and prayers are with the community of Newtown as its residents heal from this incomprehensible tragedy. This horrific attack highlights several issues that must be addressed promptly in order to better protect against such inexplicable violence. We need to get powerful assault weapons off our streets, and we need to strengthen services for the mentally ill and their families. In the past, I supported the original assault weapons ban and the Brady Bill, as well as the Youth Handgun Safety Act of 1993, which prohibits juveniles from possessing or receiving handguns. I look forward to work with my colleagues in the Senate to strengthen responsible legislation to rein in gun violence. We need to work to close the loopholes in existing laws that allow criminals and children to gain access to firearms contrary to the law's intention. One example is the well-known gun show loophole, which allows people to purchase firearms at gun shows without undergoing the background check required when guns are bought from licensed dealers. Lastly, I believe we must support increased gun safety and gun use education. And the next paragraph, after she explains all the ways that she wants to ban weapons and that sort of thing, she says, I support the Second Amendment and the rights of law-abiding Washingtonians who own guns. So she contradicts herself right there, because she obviously doesn't support the Second Amendment if she's supporting weapons bans or stiffer gun laws. So that was from Maria Cantwell's office. And the letter that I got from Congressman Adam Smith looks very similar. He gets into a little bit more of the statistics end of it and talks about deaths related to firearms and that kind of thing. And after he lists some statistics, and we've all seen the statistics, he says, unfortunately, this is not an easy problem to solve. Primarily, I believe we have a cultural problem that needs to be addressed on every level, including through legislation. We must limit access to firearms, especially those that serve no purpose other than to kill. I am a co-sponsor of legislation to ban high-capacity magazines and clips. I am looking forward to supporting a stronger, more thorough version of the semi-automatic assault weapons ban. In order to purchase a gun legally, I believe everyone should have to clear a background check. This means addressing the gun show loophole and any person-to-person transfers. And then he goes on to talk about treating the mentally ill and that sort of thing, which is fine. But we're not concerned about that at this point. It's the steps that they're taking right now to stop you and I, the responsible gun owners, from exercising our Second Amendment right. So those are the letters that I received. I actually sent a letter back to them addressing some of their misinformation regarding what they call assault weapons and this mysterious gun show loophole that you hear getting thrown around. And as you can see, these people have an agenda, and that agenda includes the disarming of America, and that's a scary thought. It only takes a glance into history to see the danger of a government that wishes to disarm its citizens. In recent years, Australia and Great Britain should serve as a warning of what follows gun bans and registration, and that's confiscation and a skyrocketing violent crime rate. Our country was founded by men who fought against such tyrannical government, and they laid the foundation to help ensure that the people could defend themselves from all threats, foreign and domestic. If you haven't heard yet, there's a demonstration being organized nationwide to walk onto the state capitals. And it's going to be happening this Saturday, the 19th of January at noon. And the purpose is to stand up to the future gun legislation. This will be our opportunity to peacefully show our support for the Second Amendment and our opposition to any new gun laws. I suggest you find out what group in your area is organizing an event to walk on your state capitol and join them. Let's show them who these unconstitutional laws will be affecting. We can show them just who this legislation is targeting, despite what they say about keeping guns from criminals. Families like mine and families like yours are going to be made into criminals overnight. Write to your senators and congressmen. It may seem like it's falling on deaf ears, but I suggest you do it and just so you can be heard. Also, write to your county sheriff to find out how he feels about any upcoming gun and magazine bans. He will have the ultimate power to refuse to enforce any unconstitutional federal gun laws. Get active. You can be sure the opposition is. I hope to see you in Olympia or hear about your experience at your state capitol. Be safe and take care.